going on, folks? How you doing out there? Welcome to a quick, brief Drink and Wink info review. Today we're gonna have a little fun. We're rolling up on 4th of July today. 1st of July, really cool stuff. I've been talking about that I'm going to be putting together a little feature on the style of whiskey called the American Single Malt style whiskey. If you don't know what that is, I'll do it very briefly here. Obviously, the feature is going to be, more filled out. All right, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about what this style is. For if you don't know, I'll give you a quick breakdown here. So I've been featuring these a little bit. I've made no bones about the fact that some of the bourbon and rye offerings, especially from our bigger distilleries, I won't even just have been a little boring to me. That coupled with, I was talking with the Dean of Allocations at his store today, that the kind of the vibe of the bourbon hunter, I'm kind of losing steam on that. Just dealing with those kinds of people, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But I still want to drink some American whiskey. So luckily for me, and lucky for America, it's the perfect match. There has been this trend for especially craft distillers, and now some of the big companies are trying to get on board to start offering this product. Okay, this product line, this offering, this completely different style called single malt, American single malt. Okay, when we're talking about that, the word single malt is mostly associated, and for the longest time, with Scotch whiskey. Right? Okay. They kind of created the idea. Sometimes the Irish say they did too, but the Irish do put out some single malt Scotch whiskeys. Single malt whiskeys, but malt whiskey, pure malted barley. Scotch did it. Irish did it. Japan has been doing it, copying mostly Scottish styles. American whiskey, for different reasons, that they didn't really tackle that until recently. It started with McCarthy's, another company that I'm going to talk about soon. And then it kind of became that these craft distillers were trying to get some kind of control over what you can call single malt whiskey. Okay, I was just listening to an interview with the master distiller for this company, Balcones. Okay, and he kind of even said it himself. He's a distiller, cool, crazy, weird, all kinds of nice, weird earrings. Very much a hipster kind of cat. But he was saying, problem is that really the big companies, as long as they're using malted barley, can really, as of maybe actually just some months ago, if I'm not mistaken, can put anything into this bottle and call it whiskey. And they were trying to get some regulations, these craft distillers, to make it a thing, make it define what American single malt Scotch whiskey is. Again, this will be more in my feature. I don't know why I'm going on for so long. What I want to do tonight is bring you another one that I have now. Before I started thinking about this, maybe about a month ago, I had like a month ago, I had one American single malt, and that was McCarthy's. And now I have 4. I've tried another one, the Pennsylvania Distilling Companies, their Conviction and Courage and Conviction. I have had that. I almost bought a Virginia Distilling today, and then I got very lucky and found out of Washington, I found this Westland. I contacted the Dean of Allocations again. Turns out this one beer cask, which I'll bring you in a beer cask finish, American Single Malt, was on the end of bin, meaning that Binny's has bought it. The company has already gotten credit for retail. I'm not going to explain how retail works, but you get it. But it didn't move. Maybe they bought too much. Maybe it was kind of stuck on the shelves. Anyway, I got a very, very good discount. I'll bring that to you. But keep an eye out for that. I can already record. I already had a blast of it. It is really very, very nice. It's the Westland beer cask finish. But let's talk about the Balcones today. I did mention this in a previous video. I also it's balls hot, okay, in a lot of the Midwest. I know St. Louis area, Alton area in Illinois, horrible. Peter sees this. He told me it was balls hot. Actually, his phrase was swamp ass, because I like that word too. Anyway, it is really hot, so it's hard to drink whiskey just neat here. I'm going to do it today. Yesterday, I used the Balcones Lineage in what I guess, I didn't want to call it Manhattan because Manhattans are done with rye or bourbon, and I didn't want to call it a Rob Roy because a Rob Roy is done, which are basically the same drink, are done with Scotch whiskey normally, either single malt or blended. So I call it the Texas Twister. I tried this wonderful bottling in this drink, which is just 2 ounces of this, 1 ounce of good sweet vermouth, Dolan would work, any kind of that, anything else, some bitters of your choice, a couple of cherries. Well, you don't put the cherries in. You know how to make a drink. I tried this, and I will tell you what, this bottle was a fantastic blender for that drink. So I'll put the recipe down here below again on the Texas Twister. The Balcones Distillery, again, I'll give you a little more information on this, but this is a Texas distillery. What I know right now is they are one of the distilleries that puts out American Single Malts as well as bourbons, as well as ryes. But they do consider the American Single Malt to be their they want that to be the thing that they're known for. Conversely, Westland, which I just showed you over here, that bottle right there, they only produce single malts. So they want to do it. So what we're talking about is it's a completely different process from bourbon and using corn primarily as your grain. They have to have malted barley. They could have that done here. They could have it done in a different state. They could have there are different types of barley. They could be brought in from Canada. It could be brought in from Scotland. A lot of companies do bring some in from Scotland, okay, especially the ones that do peated. And they can blend those different barleys together, malted barleys, to make their whiskey. That still keeps it under the single. The single malt, anytime you hear that, it's not one malt. Single malt means it's made in one distillery. The rules that have been long established in Scotland are a little different from what have finally been finalized here, and that's what I'm going to bring you in this feature, to the joy of all these craft distillers trying to do this in America. But that's it. There are some other little rules, but basically it's all malted barley, yeast, water, and then you're aging. Okay, that's the whole kit and caboodle. What are you getting with Balcones Lineage? Fantastic little bottle. This is bottled at 750 mils. Westland does go now with 700. This is pot still. That's the other thing. They do a double distillation in pot stills, which is different from a lot of larger bourbon companies. They're using column stills or bourbon producers. They're bottling this at 47%. On the back, they don't give you a whole lot of information on what's going on here and why they're calling this lineage, but I have a batch number and I have a date. So this was I would assume bottled August of 22. So this was in the bottle for a while. That doesn't mean it aged a whole lot. Jared Himstead is the head distiller. That's the guy I was just kind of listening to. They say aged at least 36 months in oak. That never chill filtered or colored. There's a lot on this label that I like. The thing about at least 36 months, that's following the regulations of Scottish or Scotch whiskey. Single malt has to be aged for 3 years. Best thing about this, tastes great. Second best thing, the price. So I picked this one up after finding out that there were still, and that's why I think there's kind of an older date on this. People don't always know what they're getting. This came in with a little glass, which I should have used. Hi, Michelle. Okay. And it came with a little bottle of their bourbon. And over here, I have a different version of their American Single Malt, which I haven't opened yet. I'm going to save those for the 4th of July. Maybe if he ends up heading somewhere for a little bit, might give those a taste. We'll see. But that little package came together, $40. Okay, that's what it was. This bottle you can still find all over the place for $40. Just without even taking a taste on this or putting it in a drink, 47%, 750, pot distilled, no color, no chill filtering, aged at least 3 years. I'm on board. On the nose, there's a little fruity hint there, but there's also a there's a nice little fruity note. There's a particular fruit I'm just pulling. There's a cherry. There's that little cherry tang, cherry, not sherry, cherry tang that's in there a little bit. Really good. Bigger nose gives you more barley notes. I don't know what this was aged in. It's pretty dark. It's hard to say. I'm sorry, I have the wrong glasses on, so I gotta keep pulling these off and on. I don't know there's anything on there. It's pretty dark for 3 years without adding color. I'm guessing maybe this was a mixture of casks. I don't know. Could have been some sherry cask. It's hard to say. If I did a little digging, maybe I'd find out. I think the only thing that's keeping me from going, like, it doesn't have to smell like Scotch whiskey. But the reason, one note that I'm getting here is, on this nose, I'm not getting a whole lot of oak. Now, if it wasn't aged for more than, say, we'll give them some benefit of some doubt here, and say 4 years. I'm going to change that a little bit. The cherry note is there. It's just a very fruity, wonderful flavor. That's why it works so well in that drink I made yesterday. There's a little bit of... whenever I use... I will never... If something is too sweet, candy sweet, I'm always going to let you know. There's a little bit of that, like... sweetness that you get like if you're eating like Smarties a little bit. But there's some depth there. A little more apple. Towards the end of it, we're getting a little bit of an oak touch. Goes darker, and I like that. I like a whiskey that starts off as giving you some sweet flavors, and then goes a little darker. It gives you a little bit more of the oak punch, gives you a little more darker fruits, a little bit of that. There is no element of, I'm trying to remember now, I'm reading so much which distiller does what. There's no element of a peated note here. And so I don't think there's just no element of that. And they don't claim to do that. I don't know if they do anything with peat, but the finish is a little thin, but there's still a nice nutty sunflower tang a little bit on the end. Let me do one more taste. Sometimes it takes a second taste to go. Michelle, I know she's not the one to talk to about candies, but there's Smarties. I mean, what's the things that are like quarter size that are a little coated with a little more, like, but they have similar kind of tastes?
I know what you're talking about, but I don't.
That's the taste I'm getting. Smarties would be saying that this is too sweet and too tart. Oh, God, what are those things? If somebody is watching and knows what I'm talking about. It's like a quarter size candy. It's a little more like slick coating on it. Slick, maybe?
X in it or something.
What is it?
Like there's an X in it or something.
An X. Yeah. Anyway, there's a little hint of that on this one. I'm not going to keep you too long. I really gave myself a big pat on the back yesterday for making a cocktail of American Single Malt. I know other people are doing it. It was just interesting, again, because I haven't seen that many listed anywhere. And this was fantastic. I will guarantee you that the Balcones Lineage of the 4 that I have right now would not be my choice for. I'm just going to sip this neat. But it's a really nice offering that you can get creative with. Again, like I said, if you're used to making cocktails with a corn whiskey, give this a shot. You know, try it out. Most of all, if you're looking for maybe kind of change your bar up a little bit or have an additional offering that might create some interest, this is a great way to start with American Single Malt Scotch whiskeys. I'm not going to say that any of them that I'm going to talk about are not a great place to start. But like I said, this is kind of lower on their tier. I think there's one below this. But if you can find me another single malt, whether it's Scotland, Ireland, Japan, wherever, that's bottled at 47%, no color added, no chill filtering, and yeah, it could stand to be a little older. I'd love to taste this. With some more age on it. Maybe they have that, and it's just they don't call it lineage. I don't know. This is nice, and it wouldn't take much for me to get another one. You can find this in a lot of different places. It's very easy to find. They have good distribution. The lineage, I think, is going to end up in most states that they distribute. One thing about Balcones is they do kind of gauge their releases to the states because they put out a lot of different types of releases. But this one is in the heart of their core range. You should be able to find it. And again, like I said, look out for that little gift set. That gift set Michelle, did we get rid of the box or is it right there?
I didn't get rid of it.
Is it right there? Well, okay. I don't know. I could get up and look, but I want to get off camera. Is it still there, or did I throw it in the back? Oh, I know. I threw it in the cellar. Don't worry about it. Anyway, it's a nice black box. You're going to see there's 2 taster bottles. One of them is more distinctive. This little red bottle. If you can find it somewhere, I maybe have bought the last one in Chicagoland, but if you can find it, check it. Actually, there were a couple at the store I bought it at. But I'm not going to get that specific. Anyway, it was a fun day, despite the heat. And that's another thing. This is whiskey that you can maybe drink neat. Well, you can drink neat in the heat. Whew, nice, huh? I made a joke. I rhyme neat and heat. And I'm acting like it was a big feat. Oh, I did it again. Oh, boy. My jokes cannot be bested. Anyway, all right, Balcones Lineage, check it out. Nice tasting stuff. Look, I'm going to try to get this bigger American Single Malt feature up and running and shoot it maybe Friday, something like that, and try to get it out before the 4th. Sounds good. If you're downtown on the 4th of July, Michelle and myself and a bunch of friends from where I teach at North Park University and all kinds of things. There's a union concert band kind of thing. We don't have a concert band gig for the 4th of July, Saturday night at the Chicago History Museum. It's going to be a lot of fun. I've done that once before. Our good friend Joe Lill, the department or the instrumental head at North Park University, is conducting. Brother's going to be on drum set. I get to play some mallets and crash some cymbals and do all that kind of stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun. And as long as we don't kind of collectively melt out there, that'll be fun. But anyway, if you're down there, that's on LaSalle, right, Michelle? Yeah, if you're down there in the LaSalle area, you might grab some spices somewhere and then go and check out this concert. All right, a lot of fun. Anyway, that's I think we're hitting at 6:30 or something like that. Does that sound right? Something like that. Anyway, there we are. Okay, seems like I get a lot of gigs when I'm out in that porch at the concourse behind the Chicago History Museum on LaSalle. Fun stuff. All right, just don't speed.